So
I want 2.5% now.
Yeah.
Of your 2.5%.
Yeah.
We're all getting percentage if you get this
I
stuff.
don't think he's going to get it.
He's going to get it. What's going on, my real estate family? Welcome back to another beautiful episode of the Price to Sell podcast. I'm your host, Matthew Campoli. Firstly, I'd like to thank all of you for tuning in, being such great supporters, subscribing, all of that. So thank you. You guys are awesome. And today, we have a wonderful guest. We have a young gun. This guy's only 23 years old and absolutely killing the game. Mr. Navid Rashid, aka Nav. Thank you for coming.
Thanks for having me, Matthew.
My pleasure.
I've been a fan, and I've been looking forward to meeting you. My buddy Baron, he's been telling me I got to meet Matthew.
Shout out Baron.
Shout out Baron.
Great guys.
Man, I'm happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
It's a great community. All through Instagram. Yeah. Look at that.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Now such great friends.
Yeah, for sure.
I love it. So give everyone a little bio into who Nav is. And
yeah, so obviously I'm a real estate agent.
Are you?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I'm 23 years old. I've been in the game for almost 4 years now. And I specialize in pre-construction sales and, working alongside with developers and slowly getting my feet wet in land assembly. So
very cool.
It's a little niche, but it's what makes me happy. It's not, it's a little different. But yeah, man, it's very exciting.
It's a big game.
Yeah, man.
So kudos to you, man.
Thank you.
A lot of people are even scared to touch it.
Yeah, it's exciting, man. There's just 23? It's very different. It's like a different type of, obviously pre-construction, like Toronto specifically, there's so much pre-construction happening. I actually just got back from California and they don't have pre-construction. It doesn't even exist there. I think I saw one crane in all of California. So
really,
it's what we have in Toronto. It's just so special. It's so different, and it's a land of opportunity. Like if you're in Toronto, like there's so much money to be made.
Yeah.
So it's good stuff.
I love it. He's right. Before we dive into it, I just want to give a little shout out to the spider that was on my mic earlier.
We actually just took care of a spider.
Yeah. So there's a spider on my mic crawling around, and if we didn't take care of it prior to this, I probably would have eaten it, and that probably would have been good for you guys, but not fun for me. So shout out to the spider.
Yeah. I think he's under us.
He's probably under us.
Yeah.
But shout out to him or her. So, you are 23. How long have you been in the game?
I've been in the game. I'm going into my 4th year right now. So
that's incredible. So you started when you were 19.
Started when I was 19.
That's insane. So let's talk about starting out in real estate.
How I started?
As a 19-year-old.
Okay, so my sales all started when I turned 16. I worked at Best Buy.
Me too.
Really?
Yeah.
No way.
Home theater.
Okay, I was, I think it was Computer Solutions at the time. That's what it's called.
Sick.
So I worked with all the computers and stuff.
I love that. Which one?
Bayview and High Tech.
Okay,
Richmond Hill. Yeah, I grew up in Richmond Hill.
Woodbridge.
Nice.
Awesome.
I forgot your number. 950? Store number?
Probably something like that.
Yeah, I think ours was 956. Yeah, interesting, man. Yeah, so I started at Best Buy, and Best Buy was actually not like a commission sales place. Like it was just strictly hourly, but somehow I obviously fell in love with sales, and I was killing it in Best Buy, and I just wanted to elevate my sales experience. So as soon as I turned 18, I worked at Wireless Wave, which was a cell phone company. My first 3 months at Wireless Wave, I absolutely crushed it, and I was at Hillcrest Mall, which is right down in Richmond Hill as well, and I got transferred to Yorkdale Mall. Yorkdale Mall, this is actually when I'm in first year of university as well. So now I'm working a full-time job, 40 hours a week, and working at the #1 store in Canada, selling cell phones, and I'm also in first year. And that year, I crushed it, absolutely crushed it, and I made 6 figures at the age of 18.
Wow.
Selling phones.
That's nuts.
Working 50 hours a week, and I barely passed my first year, but I passed. But then at that moment, I knew I'm onto something.
What are you in school for?
Business management at Ryerson.
Okay.
But I had a passion for sales. I knew I was going to do sales for my career. So at that moment, I made a judgment call. I obviously had a meeting with the family, but was it worth it for me to pursue school if I knew I was going to pursue in sales? I'm already killing it. I'm making the money that many people make after graduating, after many, many years, just selling cell phones. It's kind of shocking. So, I took control of the situation. I made that judgment call that I don't think school was for me at that moment. And I continued crushing it in selling phones, right? So at that moment, I'm like, okay, how can I elevate my sales even more? Like, what's next? What's the biggest thing I can sell? Like, what could be the biggest commission check, right?
Yeah.
And my father was a developer. He did major renovations and additions and sometimes custom homes. So
Cool.
I grew up in like the construction space. I always visited my dad's and his job sites. And so I already had my feet wet in real estate. And so obviously at that point, I'm just like, you know what? I think real estate is obviously going to be the biggest thing I can sell. Like, it doesn't get any bigger than that.
Yeah.
Right? You're either a yacht broker or like a car salesman or a real estate agent. So I got my license. I remember I submitted my 2-week notice very early. And there we go. First month into real estate, I did 4 pre-construction deals, which was
huge.
Which was fucking huge. I don't know if I can swear.
You can swear.
Yeah, okay. I was fucking huge, man. I was pumped. I'm like, whoa, like, no way I just did that, you know?
Yeah.
And like, people are telling me that it takes 6 months, 12 months, and it does for most, you know?
Yeah,
and it took a few months to like close my necks, but that first month, my feet got wet quick in that game. Long story short with that, we're doing my thing, and a few months later within my career, my dad goes through like some tragic accident, and at that moment, my brother and I decide, we got to build a business for my parents, like something to do with passive income. So within 30 days, we decided we're going to build a retail store, a vape store. So within 30 days, we lock in a lease, we dump a bunch of cash into a retail space, and we launch a vape store as being real estate agents. And we thought that we could balance the life of being a real estate agent and running a retail store at the same time.
Yeah.
But things just happened so quick. We didn't do enough research. We didn't really think about it too much. And there we go. We launched a vape store within a month. And the whole idea was to build passive income for the family, just because my dad was injured.
Which is cool.
Which was very cool. It was one of the craziest experiences.
Yeah.
But that doesn't exist, Matthew, and you know that.
Yeah.
Real estate is more than full time. It's your life. You breathe real estate. You wake up like this is no ordinary job. So
very true.
That year, I actually gave up on my career. Like, I had no choice because I dumped so much money into the store. I couldn't balance the best of both worlds. So here we are growing a vape business. 6 months in, we're obviously starting to grow, and Trump announces he's going to ban vapes. In that moment, all our hard work, we're growing this business. 6 months in, everything goes back to zero. Everything. Now I have customers walking in asking if they're going to die. Crazy.
Holy.
At that moment, my brother and I realized this business is not sustainable. We got to get out.
Yeah.
But who's going to buy a failing business?
Yeah.
So obviously we try to sell it, but no one's going to buy a failing business. So we have to think outside the box. How can we sell this place? How can we get out of this business clean slate? Thinking outside the box, we posted the retail space available for lease, just a lease. I started generating leads, and every single time a lead would call in and ask about the space, we would just tell them it's a brand new renovated space, over 100K in upgrades. The people who are currently in there, they just want around 30 grand, and they'll walk out. Within a matter of 60 days, we exit the business, clean slate, completely break even.
Amazing.
And dive right back into real estate head first.
Yeah.
And then from there we make history. So
I love it.
That's the story.
Yeah, that's a cool story,
That's
man.
the story.
Some early failures.
Very early.
Best way to learn.
And that 1 year of owning a vape store, I think I was like 20 or 21 years old. There was a lot of hardship.
For sure.
That was like 10 years of experience. I dumped all my money into the store with my brother.
Yeah.
It got to a point where I couldn't see any of my friends. I was working 12 to 9 at that shop. And then I was actually so broke because of the position I was in. I would drive Uber from 9 to 1.
Oh, wow.
And nobody knew. Nobody.
That's why you look familiar.
I might have picked you up. But yeah, man, I was working from 12 to 9, and then I drove Uber from 9 to 1 a.m. in areas that I wouldn't be seen by people I know purposely, just so I could sustain the lifestyle that I was living at the time. And I made it happen. I made an exit, and it was one of the craziest experiences of my life. But these are the things that teach you hunger, right?
Of course.
Like, when your back is against the wall and you have no options, you have no choices, you got to make it happen.
Yeah.
And so that's what we did. We made it happen.
And you eat.
Yes.
Yes.
And now you reap the rewards.
Yes.
So
yes.
It's exciting, man. Yeah, it's good
love it.
stuff. I've been through a lot, but
honestly, man, you gotta be grateful for those moments, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
You look back at those, and it's like, wow,
feels
thank
like
God
a dream.
that happened.
Feels like a dream.
Yeah.
And I'm so thankful, man. Like, if anyone's gone through hardships, like, take it as a learning lesson. Like those are the moments that you learn from. Like, those are the best ways to learn. If I can share any sort of advice, your failures, like, celebrate your failures, because they're not really failures.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes, I love it.
Yeah.
Props for that.
Yeah, man.
Good for you, man. So a lot of our audience are newer agents starting out, and then a lot of them are younger, right? So for the younger agents out there, because a lot of the questions I always get are like, it's they use their age as like a barrier for them right off the bat. It's like, shit, like, I'm in real estate, but no one my age is buying homes.
Yeah.
I'm only 21. I'm only 20 years old. What would you say to that 20, 21-year-old out there who's fresh in the business, who has that mindset? Like, what's your advice to them?
So I could tell you from my experience, I was doubted as well. 19 years old, 20 years old, I got my license. No one believed in me. Yeah. Everyone thinks you got to be older, this and that. I'll tell you one thing. I think the younger generation does it way better than the older generation. If you're able to sell yourself, if you can portray to your clients in a way that you're going to do a much better job than the older. At the end of the day, the older generation has no idea the power of real marketing, right? The social presence, that online presence, what we bring to the table. If you look around any billboard in the city, any bus stop, that's what the older generation does. Yeah. They spend money on ads and types of marketing that existed 20 years ago. That stuff's outdated. So, if you could leverage your network, that's one thing I can tell you. As soon as you get your license, make sure everybody knows.
Yes, I say the same thing.
You gotta make it happen. Like, it's not impossible, man. If Matthew and I can do it, anyone can do it. So
yeah, I started at 25.
Yeah.
So
there you go.
And look, you're killing it. So clearly you can do it at that age.
Exactly. It's
right?
It's 100% possible.
I love it. So now let's transition into, you work for Ferrow, right? Ferrow Real Estate.
So I work with Ferrow Real Estate. Okay. It's a brand new brokerage. We actually just hit our 1-year anniversary.
Congrats.
Which is really exciting. Yeah, thank you. So Ferrow Real Estate's a very interesting brokerage. I think it's one of a kind in the city right now. And what separates us from any other brokerage, first, it's the environment. I've been with 3 brokerages right now, and there wasn't any environment. You don't say hi to anybody. You walk through the halls. Everyone's kind of just on their own. No one looks to really help you. So I think one of the big things that I've taken away from Ferrow is the environment, right? Like, everyone's looking to help each other. We're a family at the end of the day, right? So that's one big thing I can tell you about the culture we have. It definitely stands out. It's awesome, man. So I think, personally, like, as an agent, I think environment's very, very important, because if you're all alone, it's also very difficult to be motivated, Yeah. So when you have that environment and everyone's hustling and it's so collaborative, right? Like, everyone's supporting each other, giving each other shout outs, engaging on everyone's social media and growing together, it really just gives you that kick and it makes sure that you don't slow down. So other than that, man, Ferrow is a vertically integrated brokerage. We're one of the first to do this in the city, where we have in-house development. We actually launch projects in the city. So we just finished with 8188 at Yonge Highway 7, which is a very successful launch. We're wrapping up phase 1 at the Summit, which is in Huntsville. And we have over $2 billion of real estate we want to launch in the next 24 to 36 months.
And you guys are doing like inside sales for them?
So we do inside sales, co-oping with other agents as well.
Like me.
Exactly.
Love it.
So lots of opportunity there. We also have our own pre-construction divisions. We have our luxury division, Palace Row. We have our resale division. We're essentially in every single pocket of real estate in the city, all in. So it's really cool. And Palace Row is actually right now contributing to the Yorkville Run. We're a huge sponsor in a massive charity event. It's called the Yorkville Run. Yep. And we're contributing over to 37 charities. So last year we raised $680,000.
Oh wow.
This year we're looking to crush it. And we're always looking to give back. And overall, man, Ferrow is, it's huge. It's good stuff.
I've seen you guys all over the socials, like especially all your different divisions, right?
Yeah.
And it's super high end in terms of the quality, the marketing, the vibe.
Absolutely.
So you can see the
it's
culture.
different energy, man. It's
Super important.
It's very important.
So you mentioned something like, obviously culture is very important. Walking in, having people that are uplifting, motivated, crushing it. Naturally, you're going to crush it as well. But a lot of agents don't have that. They're at home, offices are closed.
Yeah,
it is what it is. They may not have that those resources. Do you have any tips or anything you want to say to those realtors out there who don't have that kind of environment?
I think one really important thing for any realtor, it doesn't matter if you're in Toronto, this is global. It's all about networking. And it's not just about networking to find clients. It's not about that. It's not always about money. It's not always about closing a deal. It's about growing your network with whether it's other agents you're going to meet or friends of friends or developers or platinum agents or marketing agencies. It doesn't matter. Just keep growing your network, and you know, the more people you know, eventually the more money you'll make, right? You want to get to a point where you can make a phone call for anything, right? Like you have that one guy for that one thing in every specific niche. And if you can get that as a realtor, you'll be ahead of everyone else, right? So that's one thing I can share is grow your network, connect with other realtors, learn about what they're doing, watch podcasts like Price to Sell.
It's pretty good, this one, eh?
Awesome, man.
Yeah,
like what you're doing here, it's you know, like
he's a good guy,
it's giving great exposure, and it's helping a lot of people, including myself.
Thank you, man. Appreciate that.
My man.
I think so, I want to focus on what you just said, because this is me to a T.
Yeah.
Having that one guy you can call for everything.
Yeah.
I built that for myself. Whether it's through this or just in general, I've always been big on once I started the business, I want to befriend as many other realtors as I can, especially the ones who are doing what I'm not.
Right.
And who are way better at certain things than I am. Yeah. And I've done that. And it's such a value add to your clients. Yeah. Because if they're like, hey, Matt, there's this project I want to buy. Yeah. Boom, right away you know how to call.
Yeah. If you can't contact the developer, if you can't contact that marketing agency, you at least know that realtor who knows.
Exactly.
Right? So it opens doors. Yeah. Yeah. 100%. Like it's all about getting that, like, someone who can open a door for you. Yeah. Right? And it's huge. Like your network is your net worth. Yes. So grow your net worth.
Exactly. And then as those guys, naturally, as you're in touch with them, you're building rapport, building relationships, and they're killing it, you're going to learn kind of the tricks and kind of like what the road they took to get there. Yeah. And then you're going to mimic it.
Exactly.
And then it just, again, naturally, you're just going to become, you're going to become more and more successful. Yeah. Your net worth is going to grow. Exactly. Because you're surrounding yourself with those people.
And when you meet one person, it leads to more. Yes. Right? So, like, no one is doing anything like really new in terms of sales strategy. Like at the end of the day, like everything's already done. You just got to do the same thing in a better way. Yeah. So if you can meet the right people who are doing the right things and then do what they're doing, but in your own way, there you go. Yeah. Right. And like that's how you're going to grow.
Yeah. I think it's huge. That's one of the most important things in this business.
Absolutely.
For all you guys out there. So I want to touch upon YouTube now.
YouTube.
Yes.
Yes. Let's talk about YouTube.
Because you're very successful on there. Yeah. It's a platform a lot of us, including myself, I've had it written down for about a year now. Yeah. To do it by a camera or at least start a channel. Hasn't happened, but it will. I'm saying this now to put pressure on myself.
Yeah. No, you really should, Matthew.
Yeah.
No, that's the one.
Let's talk about YouTube, because you have one of the biggest YouTube followings in Toronto, if not the biggest.
I think so, yeah. And it's not even much, but I'll say that in a good way, because that just shows like there's so much opportunity, especially on YouTube.
So tell us about what made you want to go on YouTube, and like what some tricks, some success you've seen from it. Yeah. Maybe like do's and don'ts.
So when I had more dead time, when I was getting my feet wet more in the game, I'm obviously looking for the most exposure possible. Now, if you look globally, any successful realtor, they have an incredible social presence, right? So YouTube is huge, and I almost feel like in Toronto, like no one takes advantage of that free real estate. YouTube is like, if you can rank the right way on YouTube, it's organic. It could be organic results. It could be organic leads. It's at the end of the day, you're not paying for anything. You're just investing your time, right? And then you're investing your creativity and all. But at the end of the day, you're just investing your time and you're building a social presence. And one thing I can tell you about YouTube is it's essentially you, but on autopilot. Yeah. So when you tell someone something, and then you tell that next person that same thing, why not just record yourself saying it? And then it automatically just tells your following all the time. And if they ever want to hear it again, they can hear it again.
Exactly.
It's there. It's always there. It's permanent. And it's doing all the talking for you.
Yeah.
So YouTube is, it's great. I'll be honest, I haven't gotten any leads off YouTube. So eventually you would want to make leads.
Mm-hmm.
You would want to get leads. I haven't gotten any yet. But the exposure has been great.
Mm-hmm.
But one thing about YouTube is that it takes a lot of time.
Yeah.
I've done everything on my own for my channel when it comes to the brainstorming and the planning, the shooting, the editing, which has taken me days sometimes, right?
Yeah.
And then one of the most difficult parts is the uploading.
Yeah.
Right? It's not just as simple as clicking a button and hitting upload, right? Like you got to know your keywords. You're essentially running SEO on your YouTube channel, right?
Yeah.
So you got to know how to title your video. You got to know what to put in your description, and you got to know what keywords you're using. So if you can't do anything half-ass.
Yeah.
You know, like your planning's got to be 100%. Your shooting's got to be 100%. Your editing's got to be 100%. Your audio has got to be 100%. And then you can't fuck up the upload process, because if you do, then all of that was for no reason, right? So everything's got to be 100%.
Yeah.
With that being said, if anyone's watching here right now and is looking to start a YouTube channel and you live here, man, there is so much potential.
Yeah.
You know, the biggest YouTubers in the world are all living in the States. All living in the States. And why do we not see enough people doing it here? I just feel like Toronto has like this culture where everyone's looking at you and everyone feels judged. But
Yeah, it's true.
man, fuck everybody.
Yeah.
Like, are they helping you grow? No.
That's true, man.
If someone's not, it's not about that, you know, like you want to focus on yourself. You want to grow on your own. Like you got to step out of your comfort zone. You know, you got to get it done on your own. And you got to block all these people out of your life, man. People are always going to judge you.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, you're the one that's going to reap the rewards, not them.
That's
right?
true.
So they're either with you or they're not with you.
Yeah. Well, that's a common thing for everyone, and you're right. I think it is a big thing. Probably the biggest thing that holds people back.
It's feeling like they're getting judged.
Yeah, being judged, or like fear of what people think, or what they're going to think, and you're getting inside your own head, and it's just you versus you at the end of the day. Yeah, that's it. But even like I had a guest, the last guest I had on, Daniel G, we're talking about this. It's like sometimes the shittiest the content you post is the best. Yeah. But if you would get in your head and think, oh, this is shit, and you just archive it in your phone and never get it out there, you would never know.
Exactly.
But sometimes it's those, if you're just posting, yeah, shit's gonna hit. For sure. Yeah.
You got to be consistent with YouTube. You got to be consistent with any sort of social media, right?
Yeah.
And with YouTube, like, it's almost like a lottery sometimes. You know, like that one video, you think it may be shit, but that might be the one that pops off. Yeah. And that one video that pops off just popped off all your hard work for the previous 10, 20 videos. Exactly. Right. So, and then it eventually just snowballs. Yeah. So the more videos you pump out, the more content you make, you know, that one video that blows up, it just creates a bigger snowball, and then it just keeps rolling and rolling and rolling, and that ball just gets bigger and bigger. So there's one thing I can say, it's stay consistent, keep grinding, you know, and keep pumping out videos. Yeah. Whether it's Reels or TikToks or in YouTube. The big thing about YouTube is AdSense. Everyone forgets. Like, you make money off YouTube. It's not just like, I don't need to make the leads. I'll just make the money off YouTube. It's a passive income. Yeah. Yeah. You know,
so it's another stream of income.
I don't know if you know a realtor by the name of Ennis on YouTube.
No.
He was based in California, and he started a YouTube channel and primarily did home tours. That's all he did. Back-to-back home tours. And he gave up his license. And now he's doing full-time home tours.
Interesting.
And just imagine how much money he's making.
And he has that following, so it's a value add to realtors.
Exactly.
Right.
I'll tell you one hiccup I've come across with YouTube. Yeah. You know, I've done not a lot, but I've done a few luxury home tours. And luckily, I've either known the owners, or was a listing of mine, or it was someone that I've worked with in the past. But reaching out to agents that you don't know and asking them to tour their home, it's very difficult, because they almost think that you're trying to leverage their listing. Yeah. But that's not the case. You know, like your information would be on the video, and all the leads would be going to you at the end of the day, right? Like, the exposure is free. And the thing is, when I want to go back to is Toronto, is I think a lot of people don't see the value in YouTube. Whereas if in LA or in California or in the States, like, everyone's watching YouTube, right? So like, so many people see the value in YouTube, but it's not the same case here.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit more difficult that way.
Yep.
But it's one of the hiccups that I've personally come across.
Oh, I hear it all the time. I've never done it, but I know people who do it,
Yeah.
and it's a pain in the ass to get that permission.
Yeah.
From what I've heard.
Some see the value and some think differently, and
They do
instead
think differently.
they think that you're just trying to leverage or something.
Yeah.
But, you know,
It's more exposure.
It's
especially if you have a following.
exactly.
Right? Like the same way that
I got this many impressions, I have this many subscribers.
Yeah.
I'm trying to grow my channel, and at the same time, I'm trying to get exposure for your listing.
How many views did one of your videos get?
One of them got 160,000.
Right.
That's a lot of views.
That's a lot of views. Yeah.
And like,
if any of those knows someone who knows someone who knows someone who knows someone, it just trickles down that is interested in a property like that, because you went and you put your time and effort and money to go promote this person's
it costs
house.
a lot of money. You bring a videographer, you have an editor, you're spending all these hours, and you're doing it for the purpose of growing the channel, right?
Yeah.
So that's just the most ethical thing to do. Like it's not about anything else.
Yeah,
right?
I agree. Do you know who Stephen Graham is?
I don't.
Okay, it's a similar idea from
The
LA.
home tours?
Cali? No, it doesn't do home tours. He just does like just more kind of financial talk.
Yeah.
But he's a realtor.
Okay.
So like, is the market going to crash? Is it going to boom?
So let me tell you something about that actually, because I've done both.
Okay.
So when I can't land the home tours, I do the educational videos.
Yeah.
And where I sit in a room and I talk about the market, or I give first-time homebuyers advice and all that stuff. Here's the big problem with YouTube in Canada compared to the States. Our population is 10 times less than the States. So we have 10 times the viewers. We have 10 times less of the viewers, 10 times less of an opportunity. So when you're making, videos about first-time home buyers or any of that kind of stuff, Americans can't watch those videos. So you're immediately eliminating like over 350 million potential viewers.
Yeah.
And now you're only focusing around 35 million in Canada, which, the odds of them watching is much less, right? So those type of videos, they do great in the States, and it's a lot more difficult to get the views here. But again, consistency is what's going to bring your name up, right? So I just feel as if they might have things a little easier in the States.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
But it also depends. Even if you do have less viewership on your video, you can have a crazy contact who watches it, who lives in Toronto, who has a very healthy income, and now it's like, okay, I like what Nav said, I want to go buy a $2 million house from him.
Yeah, exactly. Right? So they ask you questions, and then you answer them, and eventually they'll remember you.
Exactly. It's just a long-term game.
Exactly.
It's one of those other platforms, the long-term game, just like Instagram.
Exactly.
Just like Instagram. So I do want to get into all my podcasts. The last segment we speak about is market predictions. So I like to get everyone's kind of see where everyone's head's at in terms of where they think the market's headed. So obviously we've seen an interesting time throughout COVID.
Very interesting.
Everything just popped off. Yeah. We're currently in August 2021. I'm noticing a squeeze right now in terms of low inventory, and people are just running to homes, and prices are just starting to flick up again pretty quick, just like January.
Exactly.
What do you see happening in the market, let's say the next year? So from now until maybe end of 2022.
I'm very bullish on Toronto real estate long term. Extremely bullish. And I'll tell you why, Matthew. This is something that a lot of people forget, realtors, clients, like some people just don't think about this specifically. We are extremely low on land in Toronto. And I know this because this is something that I've been focusing on recently. Land is getting very scarce in Toronto. Okay. And the reason why is because of this massive green belt that's running right through the middle of the province. Yeah. Is this something that you've yeah, for sure. So because of this green belt, everybody wants to live south of the Greenbelt, which is the GTA, right? Like the highest point of the Greenbelt would be Newmarket and then Aurora. And then that Greenbelt stretches over to the east end of the city as well. So north of Oshawa, north of Ajax, north of Whitby. It's capping the growth of Toronto. Okay, and the spread through the Greenbelt is just not possible right now because all our farming is on the Greenbelt. Yeah. So the only way that the city can grow bigger is if we grow up. And that is why we're seeing so much pre-construction here. Yes. There is a possibility of the Greenbelt opening up maybe in 10, 20, 30 years, who knows? But as of right now, we're working with what we have. And it's either you live south of the Greenbelt, which is the GTA, which is why it's so expensive, because inventory is so low. We don't have enough homes. There was a recent report that came out. We are short 1.8 million homes in the city. That means we need to build 1.8 million homes
right now
to meet demand.
Yeah.
Which is essentially impossible.
Yeah.
We can never keep up, right?
Yeah.
So do you live south of the Greenbelt or Barrie?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Or you go west to like Burlington.
Yeah, exactly.
And no one, people don't really want to live there because either they don't work there or they work in Toronto, so they don't want to commute an hour. So they're forced to pay that premium. So I think long term, these prices are like the new norm because inventory is just going to get worse. Land is very low right now. Developers are having a very hard time gripping on land, and it's only going to get worse long term, I think.
Yeah.
So, if you're looking to buy a home, I think, the sooner you can get in, the better.
I agree.
And in the short term, no one's got the crystal ball. Every agent says this, and I love when clients say this because they know as well. Like no one's got the crystal ball, but there is going to be market fluctuation, of course. But in the long term, if you're always thinking about, like at the end of the day, real estate is not a stock.
No,
it's not your typical investment. It's not something you buy today and you day trade it. It's not something you buy today and you sell tomorrow. If you have the thought of buying real estate today and plan to sell next year, don't buy real estate.
Yeah.
That's gambling. That's risk. Like that's just not how it's done.
Yeah.
When you buy a home, you got to think long term. I'm buying this with the intentions of holding for 5 years.
Yep.
Minimum 5-year hold. If you think that way, you will always be in the green 100%.
Yeah.
Because that way you're never going to time the market. You can't time the market.
You can't. It's impossible.
It's not possible.
There's no bottom. You'll never time the bottom.
Yeah. You can never do it.
Yeah. I tell this to
You'll
people all the
always
time.
lose.
Yeah.
So those are my thoughts.
And like I always say on this podcast, stop listening to the guy at your gas station or McDonald's.
Yeah.
When they tell you the market's going to crash.
Yeah, it's happened so much, and clients call me, they're like, man, I wish I didn't listen to my mom or this or that. Like, I should have done it. You got to just, it's at the end of the day, real estate is one of the safest investments
Always has been
in the world. If you ever walk into a bank and ask the bank for a loan to buy their stock, they would say no.
Yeah.
The only thing the bank loans against is a house.
Yeah.
Because that's what they believe in as well. They know
Secure.
that that's the lowest risk they can possibly loan against.
Yep.
Right? So, if you're looking to invest and you're looking for like the safest place to put your money, it's real estate. And don't try to time it. Just buy and hold.
Yeah. Get those short-term fears out of your head. Just set it and forget it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. And you're going to thank yourself later.
Exactly. So what would be your favorite place to invest right now?
Favorite place to invest? It's an interesting question. I personally invested in Stouffville recently. Stouffville, I think, there's a lot of opportunity there because it's right in the heart of the Greenbelt. It's a very little small pocket in the Greenbelt that, it's very small and the growth is very limited. It's close to the 404. It's close to Markham. It's close to Aurora, and it's convenient, right? So I think anywhere where you have the convenience of the highway, that's one of the biggest issues we have in the city is we don't have enough highways. We got 2 or 3, 400, 401, 404.
Yeah.
So if you're close to a highway, you're good. If you're close to the TTC, you're good.
Yeah.
I love, the VMC area. It's a great area.
Me too.
Big fan.
Me too. That's the Vaughan Metropolitan Center.
Exactly.
If anyone's listening.
Highway 7 and Jane area.
Yeah, Highway 7 Jane. A ton of development, condos mainly coming up there by the subway.
100%.
Highway 7, everything's there. So
a lot of opportunity there. I'm a big fan of Richmond Hill because I grew up there.
That's biased. I'm kidding.
Sorry.
I'm kidding.
So yeah, Richmond Hill is definitely one. So yeah, those are some of the areas that I really focus on.
Speaking of highways, Bradford, I think it's gonna be a
Bradford. Yeah, so the connecting highway between East Gwillimbury and Bradford. Exactly. That's a big one.
Yeah, 400 and 404.
Yeah,
it's gonna be a hub.
Bradford is good. Barrie, I think, is huge.
Barrie's huge too.
Let me tell you something about Barrie.
Sure.
So, if you look at the current market, some of the craziest homes we have, like considered overpriced, but they're not really overpriced. It's waterfront.
Yeah.
Cottages are going ballistic.
Yeah.
Homes on Lake Ontario, ballistic, like unreal.
Yeah.
These prices are crazy. But again, scarcity. There's nothing left. Like, this is what we have. Take it or leave it.
Yeah.
And take it or leave it now. We're in 5 years. Again, it's only going to get worse. So I think I'm a huge fan of Barrie because it's so close to my second favorite body of water, Lake Simcoe.
Yeah.
There's Lake Ontario, which is, at this point, it's a little too expensive.
Yeah.
But, being close to the water, like in Barrie, you can walk 10 minutes over to the beach. You can drive 10 minutes depending on where you are in Barrie, but you're so close to a beautiful lake. Waterfront's expensive there too, but you can be 10 minutes away from waterfront and it's cheap.
Yeah.
You can get a detached home for around 800, 850 with a walkout basement.
Yep.
You can get rental revenue.
Amazing rental revenue.
Yeah.
Barrie. Yeah.
Barrie is a great place, and
Agreed.
you're close to water. I think water is another big thing
Yep.
other than highways.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have much of a summer, so
That's true.
when we do have a summer,
We gotta take advantage.
We got to take advantage of the lakes.
Exactly.
Yeah. So
Exactly.
yeah, Barrie's a big one as well.
Agreed. So as we near the end here, I want to give everyone a little bit of what's next for Nav. Any big things or?
Yeah. So we're launching actually 2 sites
Okay.
in the next 30 to 60 days, which are really exciting.
Okay.
We're launching a site at Yonge and Shepherd.
Nice.
It's a beautiful boutique building being built by True Life Developments.
Okay.
So we should be launching that in October. It's going to be a beautiful building. It's being designed by DK Studios, who's designed the Louis Vuitton store at Yonge and Bloor and a lot of other luxury stores. So this is going to be a beautiful boutique building at Yonge and Shepherd. We're also launching another site in Whitby. It's called Whitby Grove.
Nice.
So
Freehold?
Freehold detached homes.
Oh, talk
There's
to me
only
about
20
that.
of them.
Okay.
And they're backing ravines.
Oh wow.
They're beautiful.
Wow.
And they're starting in the 1.1s.
Okay.
And so that's going to be another project we'll be launching. And then eventually we'll be launching 1140 Yonge, which is at Yonge and Summerhill.
Okay.
It's going to be a luxury building over there. And then we got a really big one coming up in Yorkville.
Nice.
So yeah, lots of stuff. But I think in the next 30 to 60 days, 105 Shepherd and Whitby Grove. Those are the 2 big ones.
Amazing. So,
Yeah.
any of you guys looking for some pre-con stuff?
That's right. Yeah,
Hit 'em up.
You can give us a call.
All right, man. Well, I want to thank you for coming. We're going to put all
Thanks for
your
having me.
socials and everything in our bios and links and descriptions. But quickly, where can people find you? Best place to find you?
Yeah, you can find me on Instagram. It's Nav RSH. YouTube, you can search my name, Navid Rashid. And you guys can always text, call anytime. Yeah.
Beautiful. Well, thank you so much for coming on, man. This was
Thanks
a great
for having me,
conversation.
Matthew. Thank you.
I think you just
Thanks for
probably
having me.
inspired a lot of the young guns out there. So,
Yeah.
Good chat. Again, thank you guys for tuning in. As always, like, subscribe, share, and we'll
Smash
see
the
you.
subscribe button.
Smash it. Don't
Smash
just
it.
click it. Smash it.
That's right.
And we'll see you on the next one.
See
Peace.
you.